Well, I've gotten more than one request to make a video about how I deal with my wrist pain, so that's what this is. You've got wrist pain. Mine is located mostly along the inside of the wrist and this bone here, and it radiates into the hands. The pain goes up the arm. It migrates around. I've had it since I was a teenager. The sports doc says that it's simply overuse, nothing more, and the x-rays don't lie. I attribute it to using one of these little demons and to playing the musical devices. One of my favorite things is this here wooden board cut from a tree, 33 inches long. And what I use this for is to stretch out the inner arm. This is a board I got at Home Depot, and I ripped it on the bandsaw so it's thinner. It has a little bit of flex. It's nice and light. And the edges have been smoothed down. So pick yourself up a board and stretch out your inner arm. The next thing I do is a stretch that really focuses on the wrist. You start by putting your fingers of both hands together. Fan the fingers like this, and then begin a rotation back and down. Now you might hear your wrist pop when you do this, and if it feels uncomfortable, then stop. You know, you sit around the office long enough, you see people doing things like this. Don't be ashamed to bust out this move. It does wonders. And you can do a little bananarama thing if you want. Now, in no particular order, the next thing I'm going to do is loosen the fascia in the arms and the wrist. This is a three-part process. First, rub the arm. This heats it up a little bit. Next, give the entire arm a massage by firmly but gently squeezing and lightly pinching the arm. And finally, you're going to give yourself a little Swedish. And that breaks up the fascia. Or fascia, depending on which part of the country you're in. I don't know how to pronounce it, I just say fascia. And do the other side too. Now, if you have a 2-point buck antler laying around, you can do a little practice still employed by Mongolian herdsmen. And this actually does a pretty good job of stretching out the arm and breaking up the fascia. Following up with the Swedish antler treatment, I like to reach for these balls here. They're a spongy rubber that really grips the skin, you can see. So you press this guy in there and give it a twist, wherever it hurts. And these are not your garden variety balls. They appear to be acquired at yogatune-up.com. So pick yourself up some foam balls and give your wrist a twist. Back of the hands too. Well, now that I've tenderized the heck out of my arms, I'm going to do a quick massage of the palm. Now I employ the pinching caliper method using the thumb, knuckly, and the forefinger pad to create a kind of human vice grip. And I'm hitting all the meaty parts of the hand. This side, over here, both sides, both hands. And if you want, you can get into the other parts of the hand and work your way up each finger. Fingertips are nice to give those a little pinch. All right, yeah. So what I'm going to do now is a couple of quick sets of wrist curls. Now, why the heck am I doing a wrist curl if I have wrist pain, you ax? The answer is muscle growth promotes healing. It strengthens the whole works. Now, these are the big guns, the 30-pound double Big Mac with cheese and a side of fries, but we're not trying to become bodybuilders at this moment. We're just trying to reinforce some muscle. This will really stretch out the arm and also strengthen the wrist. The heavier the dumbbell, the more stretch you're going to get. Too heavy, you say? Well, try one of these little guys, a little 10-pounder. Or for you teensy tinies, the 3-pounder. Still very effective. And if you're already doing curls at the gym, great. Keep doing them. Okay. This is my secret weapon, the mighty pickle jar. This is called the ice water treatment. Now, if you need to alleviate pain rapidly, this is for you. Get yourself a big jar that has a big enough mouth to fit your entire hand and wrist in there without it getting stuck. Fill this vessel with cold kitchen water and put it in your fridge overnight. Or ice water if you don't want to sit around and wait. Or if you live in the mountains like me, walk on down to the creek and get yourself a gallon of creek water. Ice cold and delicious. Now, once you've got your cold water, plunge your hand in, try to get your wrist submerged, and keep it in there until you can't stand it any longer. I like to go for about 3 or 4 minutes. What's happening here? Well, you're numbing the nerves in your wrist and your hand. This makes the pain go away. Keep in mind, this is not a holistic solution. You've got to add the heat back into the equation somewhere, because cold doesn't heal, it only numbs. Heat is what does the healing, and you get that from stretching, massage, and muscle work. But this is the secret weapon for instant pain relief. The water just has to be damn cold for this to work. So, some other little things you can try. These are Chinese medicine camphor strips. They come like this, and I cut them in half just to be a little more economical. So you just peel off the back and tape one of these bad boys. Just strap that right on right there. And the camphor and the tape is going to heat up your wrist. Now, I suggest wearing these overnight as they smell pretty funky. And then tear them off like an old Band-Aid in the morning before you go into the mines. You can probably get these in Chinatown or at an Asian grocery store or online. You can also put copious amounts of tiger balm on the affected area. That's super effective. All right, so this brings us to bracing. This little guy here has been a lifesaver for me. A couple years back, I couldn't even push a mouse across the desk. But as soon as I strapped this thing on, I got all of my superpowers back and was no longer thwarted by the tiny glowing stone. So pick yourself up a brace. Don't be ashamed to wear it in public. Some of these things are pretty damn ugly, I know. Like this tan one that I wore for a while. I like the black Mueller that I got from Amazon. So these obviously work because they restrict the movement of the wrist. However, there's a dark side because now you're transferring more work to other parts of your arm and hand, and overuse and abuse there, and you'll inadvertently damage those parts of your body too. So, use sparingly. Maybe a couple hours max each day for myself. All right. This here. This is a good time to mention hydration. Drink lots of water. It actually helps to reduce pain by keeping the fascia lubricated. This brings us to the last chapter, which is the pointing devices. Maybe not that. Because these little bastards are what are giving you your wrist pain to begin with. I sometimes switch out to a trackball, switch out my mouse, or I use a tablet and stylus. This is the Wacom. It's a great way to switch up your game, the tablet and stylus. If you're a designer, you already know about this. But if you're a bean counter spending your days in Excel or a programmer in Visual Studio or some other IDE, you can certainly still write code. You can still enter in numbers into the spreadsheet. You're just moving the cursor around with the pen instead of the shoe. But okay, you're a mouse person, you say, so get a smaller mouse, one that is very tiny. Man and womankind was not meant to hold a little stone out here like this and move it. It's that shape we hold with our bodies all day long, day after day. That's what's going to get you. So you want to break it up with some exercise. Maybe try a standing desk. Step away from the computer, take a walk. Use the patent pending piece of wood. Massage the fascia with the foam rubber balls. Or go native Monolishi with the two-prong crown here. Lift some weights. And wear a strap-on with pride. Plunge your wrist into a near freezing alpine lake and get some heat into the tissue with camphor strips and tiger balm. And drink lots of water. Mineral water is also good. The Gerolsteiner has lots of hydration properties. That is all I have for you today. Good luck. Sayonara. Okay, that was wonderful.